Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's 4:20 on Tuesday, the 26th of July. As you can see, the American market has sold off today. No big deal, less than 1%. And the S&P is sitting at 3932. And that 4,000 level clearly going to be a big number to get through. Let's see what the Fed says tomorrow, and let's see what the big dog tech results are going to be. That can certainly drive us upwards. So short-term trend is still up. The underlying trend is down, and the longest term measure of the trend on VectorVest is down. So if I have a look at the VectorVest Composite US, which I think I've got here, as you can see, that exceptionally good sell signal last November, and underlying trend is still down because the MTI is less than 1, and the buy-sell ratio at 0.39. So the American market has got quite a bit of work to do yet to in fact print a confirmed call upwards. As you can see, if I blow this up to 6 months and maybe give us a bit more room to look at the price, as you can see, there is a huge area of support here, which has now become resistance. As you can see, we had an outside day, that would have been last Friday, and down below these levels we can certainly come back and kiss this level. I have a short position today. I'll show you that position in a moment. I have one position in the American market, that's builders, and it's up a little bit today, so reasonably happy with that. It's a tiny position, and all the positions I've got running at the moment, in fact, are tiny positions because I haven't been well, and I'm just trading small positions to keep my hand in. This clearly is an incredibly important level, and as I've spoken about already, there couldn't be bigger news coming between now and the end of the week with the Fed and with those big tech earnings numbers. If we have a look at the 4-hour chart, this is a 4-hour chart of the S&P 500. I've had mostly short positions on this, and I think that we're probably going to come back to 3909. I'm short today. Rocket science, I know, as it broke down through that low. That's a multiple inside pattern, and invariably when the market breaks that multiple inside pattern, that it'll come back a little bit. I didn't know it was going to be a successful trade. The entry point was just there, and the stop loss was above the high prior to the breakout, and the stop loss was at 39.62, but I managed to get that stop a second ago before I started the recording to entry. This is technically on the 4-hour chart. This is starting to look optimistic. I've just got the RSI here. Now the RSI, I use it in my own way, and I've been playing with the RSI since Wiles Welder taught me the darn thing a very long time ago. It's very useful for divergences above 70 and below 30, overbought and oversold. Not that much use in my humble opinion, but divergences are useful. As you can see, that was rising and that was flat. That's a divergence. When it was confirmed, and I did a video about this last week, there was a little bit in it. The other thing is very, very, very good about the RSI are trend lines in the RSI, and I would go as far as to say that a trend line break on the RSI is actually a much more useful indicator of a change in trend than a trend line on the price. And as you can see, or at least I was watching this on the way up, that was suggesting that this was going to keel over a couple of bars before it did. Now, we still have to wait for price confirmation, but I'm going to get rid of that one. At the moment, we've got a trend line that's falling, but what's quite interesting here now, folks, is that this is actually setting up a bullish divergence. So I think we're coming back to this level, and I have an order to exit that short position at 39.10. But if this does this, then we would have, that's rising, but this little fella, David, this little fella is falling, and that is reverse divergence, and that would be very positive for a breakup. Clearly, we would have to wait for it to break the blessed trend line and then confirm on price. But if that was the case, that would be quite positive. As you know, if you have any trading experience at all, that something as powerful as the Fed and results from the big tech companies can kick all my technical meandering into touch. But I'm getting quite excited about that. But another 20 points, I'll take this profit off the table. I'm doing a VectorVest Streetwise Investors Club for VectorVest clients. I missed one last month because I was out in hospital, but I'm actually going to talk about the power of the RSI indicator and its characteristics to produce winning trades that I don't think anybody else talks about. First of all, trend lines on the RSI, incredibly powerful. The second thing is that chart patterns on the RSI are much more important than chart patterns on the price. So I'm going to do my best to give the VectorVest UK members a thorough grounding in that. And I've been, as I say, playing with the RSI for the better part of 35 years. The stochastic also has its uses, quite different uses to the RSI. But as the trend line breaks here, as these trend lines break, simple trend lines that a 5-year-old could draw in, it does predict a change in direction a couple of bars ahead of the price. And you can apply it to any time frame. You can apply it to a 4-hourly chart. There's only 4 things that you can, in fact, measure in technical analysis. That's price and volume. And I've done an awful lot about volume for the VectorVest members and for anybody who listens to these videos. Momentum, and that's the first derivative of price, and that's what the RSI and the stochastic measure, essentially. And then the last one, of course, is time and time cycles. I've worked out my own method of working out turning points. I rarely talk about it. In fact, over the years, I've actually only shared it with one VectorVest member. That was a young man called Colin up in east of England somewhere. Now, after this operation, all of that secrecy doesn't seem that important. So I'll do another session on that as well for the VectorVest members. If we have a look now at the UK market, clearly this is last night's close. This is what, Monday night's close, I suppose. We're in an up situation. So the UK market looking stronger than the American market, although I assure you that after the Fed speaks and the US market moves, our market will move a nanosecond afterwards. A nanosecond, folks, is the unit of time that passes when in London the traffic light turns to green and somebody blares their horn behind you. It's a very, very small space of time. VectorVest advocates caution in the UK market. And I've got the VectorVest composite here for the UK market. I think that's it. Yeah, this is where the market, let's put on the confirmed signals. We had a really, really good run in the UK, as you can see, from the Brexit days. And then the market went up and went into this triangular formation. And then in the words of the great Richard Wyckoff, the market fell through the ice. Wyckoff said that if a market breaks out, that was jumping the creek. Those of you that have ever jumped across the creek will know, or the stream will know, that you've got to run at it with a certain amount of momentum, otherwise you'll fall with your mouth in the water. And similarly, he has said for a market to break out, it needed to move with a certain combination of both momentum and volume. We got a confirmed up signal here, and that was a rally in a bear market, and we're actually very close to another confirmed up signal in the UK. Now, because I am primarily a technician, I can't resist drawing trend lines, and that's a trend line. I think it's a useful trend line, and if we do get a confirmed call, I would like to see a couple of closes above here, and then the game could be quite on for a really, really good rally here. It may be a rally in a bear market, but nevertheless there could be good money made in that particular run. Again, I think that the Fed will decide that tomorrow. As you can see, this level where this support become resistance is pretty much, not pretty much, exactly the same as we have in the American market. So it's high noon, folks. We're waiting for the Fed to give us some guidance tomorrow. I haven't done much in the UK. I added to a couple of positions, and I think I've got those positions. I added to Airtel Africa. It had a very good day yesterday, and I have a position in that stock from quite a long time. If we go down here, this is Bloomsbury, and I bought into Bloomsbury a while back. As you can see, earnings are rising. This is a weekly chart. That was support, and I pointed this out on several occasions that within this consolidation stroke mess, the up weeks were in big volume and the down weeks were in poor volume. And now we've broken up, and I think that clearly 70% of the exercise is the overall market. If the overall market, in fact, starts to move, then I think that we'll move strongly here. I particularly like this little bull flag. Those have been very, very good to me over the last few years. That's Sylvania Platinum, and I thought it would run these lows. This is really good, folks. If you see a market coming down and taking out the lows and then moving back up again, that's invariably a fade. It didn't quite get back to the 618, but then it's so difficult to draw the fibs with spikes, because that, in fact, if I drew it there on the body, it actually makes a much, much better job. And I assure you that in the big dealing rooms, the technical analysts will be looking at that spike and saying, was there a meaningful number of shares traded in the spike, or was that one person at 50p a point messing around up there? This is a good looking position, and I am very, very positive about commodities after the sell-off. But maybe that's my South African background coming through, where we're commodity mad. Make up your own mind there. This is Morgan Sindall. Again, Morgan Sindall came back, and it's now moving up very strongly indeed with the market. A decent market behind us. This is a very strong looking pattern here. Earnings per share are growing strongly, and there would seem to, for the first time in a long time, a great deal of movement in building stocks. Even Persimmons would seem to be doing something. That was my pick of building stocks, because it had broken the February prior to the COVID sell-off high. And if you have a look at all the big dog building stocks, they're sitting still below the February high. So this, in fact, in my book, showed increased and strong relative strength. That's CCC. I've been holding the stock since March the 24th, 2020, and I've added to it somewhere here, and I haven't added to it here as yet, but if we do get a confirmed call, I'll be buying a little bit more of that. As you can see, earnings per share moving up strongly indeed. This is McFarlane, and I bought a few more McFarlane last Thursday or Friday. There was a DEW, a medium-term market timing system. As you can see, there's the old highs there. And it's come back and kissed that. We've got a long-term support there. Earnings look good. The volume looks good. And this looks to me like a bull flag. Maybe I should have waited on a VectorVest buy signal. Okay, maybe a bit impetuous. And that's Marlow. I think I showed you there was a VectorVest buy signal, a confirmed call signal. I think it was in April. And I bought into that in April. Clearly, that's a line in the sand that needs to be watched and watched very carefully indeed. But I like the stock. Earnings look good. And that's Pan-African Resources. As long as it stays above that 62% retracement, I'm going to hold it. The gold price has sold off and is at support. I have a small position, a spread bet in gold as well running at the moment. I'm long of gold from $17. So three spread bets running. One is short the S&P, which I hope will make its target this afternoon. One is long of gold, which is a long-term trend. If it works, is a long-term trade for me. And one long of builders. We shall see. I think that there's going to be an incredible amount of noise around these results, around the Fed tomorrow. I think that if you're not in a position, I would chill, quite honestly. I know it sounds very sexy to try and trade the news, but it can be quite scary in there with serious amounts of loot, and it's going to take quite a bit of testicular fortitude to handle that volatility. There'll be plenty of time, ladies and gentlemen, to make a buck when the market decides where it's going. At the moment, nobody knows what's going to happen next. I don't. Your brightest advisor doesn't. And as I always say, certainly that clown jumping up and down on the TV every afternoon, he doesn't know either. So just be very careful with your cash until the market makes its mind up for you. Otherwise, your cash could find a new owner. So my grandfather told myself and my brother a long time ago, he was talking about a building business. He used to say that the objective of a recession is to survive it. And similarly, folks, we've got a confirmed down on VectorVest in the US and in the UK. And our objective is to get through that and have the strength and the resilience to jump back in again at the next signal. And that takes quite a bit of doing. Most people can't do that. They will wait and buy in at the top. And as I say to every VectorVest customer 1,000 times every Monday afternoon, when it's time to buy, you won't want to. And similarly, when it's time to sell, you won't want to. We tend to get this completely wrong, where we buy in towards the top of a run and panic towards the bottom of a run. So folks, that's what I've been up to. I hope you found it useful. I'll be doing the VectorVest Q&A next Monday afternoon myself, and I'll be taking the Streetwise Investors Club with Susan Thornborough myself Anybody that's listening to this that would like a trial of VectorVest, if you go to vectorvest.co.uk, then you can take a 30-day trial for a $5. Okay. Thanks very much indeed. My advice, if you're not in a position and you're not a day trader, would be to stand aside and let Mr. Powell have his 5 minutes in the sun, and let the market decide for you. Thank you.